The victors valiant, the conquering heroes, and they call home the Big House. Bathed in maize and blue, welcome to Ann Arbor, home of the Michigan Wolverines. A top 25 showdown coming up. Two of college football's premier teams preparing to duke it out right here on this field. As we'll see the number 18 team in the country, the Tennessee Volunteers, taking on the fourth-ranked team in the land, the Michigan Wolverines. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this one up. The Wolverines will get us started with the opening kickoff. No return coming. He'll call for the fair catch. They challenge this crowd to bring the energy, and I'd say they're doing that. On the run, it's Lewis. Not much doing there. He gets it to the 26, a gain of 1. There's always that issue of conference pride, keeping up, of proving your worth on this stage, and the ACC loves to get a chance at the SEC to do just that.
And these kids grow up in the same area. And you don't think the ACC teams hear all the time, SEC, about the dominance, the draft picks, all the stuff that goes with it. It definitely adds some of that fire. It makes you want to beat them more. I love these big-time games.
Yeah, they really do, David. And I think this is one of those games where if you're the ACC team and your players in that locker room, you've had this game circled all off-season. This game is your opportunity to prove, not just to your conference, not just to the SEC, but to everybody in college football, just how good you are as a team and how good your conference is.
He gets it oh so close to the first down marker, but I think he's going to be a touch short.
One of the things I love about this defense is they just have such great awareness, and they're always communicating. They understood the down and distance. They knew exactly what they needed to do to make the tackle to force the punt. That is so well done.
Yeah, and I think those... to be for the big, strapping quarterbacks. But, man, nowadays, dude, all you got to do is fall forward, and it's such a hard play to stop. So you see this all across all levels of football, and it's just a difficult play to stop.
This crowd trying to make life miserable for this offense. They want to run this quarterback. And that's a very productive first down play and bringing up 2nd and 3. Love seeing these early season top 25 matchups. You can get a really good feel of how good these teams are, guys.
And the intensity is going to be big too, David, because the players, you know, on these teams, they've been thinking about this game for a long time. They knew they'd have a national stage, and they got a chance to prove just how good they are.
Oh, man, make that statement. Make that early statement. We always look at the end of the season, and what does the committee say? Oh, they beat top 25 so-and-so. Here's your chance to put that on your resume that'll pay off big time in late in the season.
Well, just nothing doing on that last run, and they knew coming into this one they were going to be challenged, right? This is one of the best defenses in all of college football. For them to have any shot, they're going to have to do a lot better running the football.
Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on 3rd down. Pocket starts to collapse. Oh, picked off. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick.
Sometimes the quarterback puts that zip on it, and you can hear it. Sometimes he uses the lob wedge where it takes a little time to get there. That time, he used the lob wedge, and the defender came in and made the interception. Big play for this defense.
Offense set on 1st down. The give to the tailback. And the freshman does a great job using his technique and getting the man on the ground.
Yeah, and the running back didn't get much here, but, you know, you clearly want to always establish the tempo, run the football, be consistent, make that defense physically meet the challenge.
After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line, 2nd and 7. Handoff from the gun. And the tackle is made, but there has been a flag thrown. Just an obvious holding call there, and one that just kills an offense's momentum. Line getting set on second down. Pre-snap motion in the backfield. Davis will throw. Looking to the big tight end. And he's lucky to get that one back. This junior quarterback knows better than to try that too often.
Yeah, that was a good play on the ball, getting his hand up and getting the tip, getting the deflection. Ball bounces up in the air, falls to the ground, incomplete pass.
Throws for the tight end. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. Fourth down coming up. And the Wolverines will punt this one away. He ought to be able to use this first punt to pin him deep. Well, what that punt lacked in height, it made up for by being short. Everybody stays in their lanes well enough, and they stop him at the 31-yard line. The Volunteer offense is back, and they hope it's touchdown time in Tennessee. Boy, they hope this next drive is more productive after throwing a pick last time, Jesse.
Yeah, and the coaches did a good job on the sideline there, just talking to the young quarterback and making sure he's able to turn the page, calm him down to go out and refocus this drive.
Yeah, and some people do that better than others, but you got to show some trust in him. Maybe get the ground game going, help around him a little bit with this system.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Quick completion to the right. And he's able to shed one tackle, but still just a very short gain.
Well, we knew coming into this game, this offense was going to try and get this receiver involved and get him involved early. So here they are just finding an easy completion. It's not a touchdown, but they just want to get this guy lathered up and get him into a run.
Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on third down. He's got his man. They'll get him down, but not before he crosses the 50. He's down to the 49. Good job by the receiver there, not to run into coverage, but to find a spot that the quarterback could throw him the ball.
Yeah, on those types of routes, Reese, they say if you're looking, you're booking. So if that's man coverage, the receiver's staring at the quarterback all the way across the field. That time, the receiver didn't give the quarterback his eyes, so they were on the same page. They both knew it was zone, and they executed that perfectly.
And a nice run there before the defense finally makes the stop.
Well, you got to give the defense a lot of credit on this play because they were doing a nice job understanding who had the football and where they were. So a nice job by the defense rallying around that ball carrier and now not giving up the first down.
The give to the big fullback. Brought down to the ground, but he has enough for the first down.
And you got to throw the fullbacks a bone occasionally, okay? Those dudes have one of the worst jobs on the field. Always blocking every single play, down in, down out. When you get those situations, you can give him the ball, give him a bone, reward him for all of his hard work.
As they get set to snap it, time winding down here in the quarter. Leaves it with the running back. Not much of a gain there on the ground, and that will do it for the first quarter. Second down now as they're ready to go back to work. That one never had a chance. Incomplete.
And how loud is it in this building? This is crazy. These fans are going absolutely nuts. And I used to love when the fans got involved, and I'm on defense, because it messes with the snap count. It messes with the communication, and it can really rattle an offense.
They couldn't connect on second down. Now staring at a 3rd and 9. Quarterback run is part of their game plan. Working their way closer and closer. A third down conversion, and they've got it at the 26.
All right, well, look, I know the defense was feeling real good about their run D coming into this one and how they've been playing up to this point, but finally, David, the offense breaks through, and they finally generate something positive on the ground.
And I can't tell you how easy it is. When you're going to throw the ball consistently, and I know it, I'm going to pin my ears back, and I'm going to get to the quarterback. It makes life really easy on the defensive line. But when you can have balance, now the defense doesn't know what's coming. They need more of this if they're going to be successful on offense.
Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. He's looking to throw. Time running out, and he goes down at the 34.
What a great play. Winning one-on-one, getting home and getting a sack, and that kind of effort is going to get the big house fired up. These 100,000-plus Michigan Wolverine fans are on their feet screaming because of that dominant play right there coming from their D-line.
And that pass picked off. Nowhere to go, and the ball's loose. Scoops it up, still a live ball. And he takes it to the house. Touchdown, Volunteers!
And that's not how you draw it up, but how about the offense and the awareness? You see the ball out, forget jumping on it. I'm going to pick that puppy up. I'm going to take it to the house. The OC, great call on that one, buddy, because it worked to perfection.
Tennessee 7, Michigan 0.
Almost ready to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. He'll call for the fair catch here. Guys, here come those maize and blue winged helmets on offense. Last time, David, it was 1-2-3 kick.
The last drive, that 3 and out, sometimes that puts your defense in a bad spot, and you got to get a drive together here so you don't wear the defense out.
I just think, David, too predictable that last drive. They got to do something here to get this defense on their heels.
They've got it at the 37. It's 1st and 10. The back goes in motion. Little touch pass to the receiver. The defense wouldn't let him loose, and even though it's a completion, they lost yardage.
Great heads-up awareness by the cornerback on that play. He saw the receiver get the ball. He shot downhill and made a nice tackle.
And now on 2nd down for this offense. Davis looking to pass. On target. Pulled down for the tackle.
And look, defenses obviously have to play man coverage in different situations of the game, but you got to wonder if this defense wants to keep playing man after giving up that big play.
This defense will try to force a 4th down on 3rd and short from the 45. He is tackled, but it'll be a fresh set of downs.
You know, you start day one of training camp running your base runs. You need a few yards, you run these plays. You need a first down, you run these plays. You rep them over and over and over again. They're not sexy, they're not pretty, but in the end, they're effective, and they get you that new set of downs when you need them.
The Wolverines have this offense rolling. Wide receiver coming across in motion. To the ground. He's got it again. At the 40. There he goes. Flying out to the left. Touchdown, Michigan. And once he found open space, the band might as well start playing. Boy, did he just scorch that defense with that score.
He shows you all of it, Reese. He's got the speed, he's got the agility. This dude's a big-time playmaker. You just give him the ball, and he'll find different ways to kill you on different plays.
And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Two very different emotions inside the locker rooms of these teams who did battle today. Penn State was able to squeak one out in front of those home fans at Beaver Stadium. In fact, I think in the end, the difference may have been that Happy Valley crowd who leaves happy with the win. 60 minutes of football and a convincing outcome. And certainly a game with implications far beyond just the standings, fellas.
Yeah, how about that? Sounds as if they had a good ball game there. Kevin, thanks for the update. Sometimes it's not about a fancy play design. It's about just getting him the ball and letting him play.
Especially nowadays with running backs being so good out of the backfield. You know they're going to catch it, and there's so many ways to use them. But exactly, get it to him, let him break tackles, let him make plays. Easy decision.
Offense gets set for second down. He's looking to throw. Quick completion on the out route. He steps out of bounds, but he's got a first down on the play.
And these quarterbacks have to really trust their wide receivers that they're going to be disciplined, run to the right route when they're throwing that ball to the outside like that, because those corners are sitting there on the inside, and the worst thing that could happen is to miss inside and that cornerback be going the other direction.
They'll throw it on first down. Makes the grab. It's Lewis. And he'll make his way out of bounds after the solid pickup.
Guys out of the backfield now, it's not just run the ball downhill anymore. You got to be versatile. I got to be able to trust you in the pass game, and I got to be able to throw you the football, and you can do that right there. I know you're going to catch it, and I can depend on it.
Got some of the work done on first. Now let's see what they have on second down. Grab behind the line. It's Hawk. And the Volunteers get enough for the first down.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver. And you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
The Volunteers come to the line with a new set of downs. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
And great job getting in the backfield, making it very difficult for him to make reads and understand what the heck's going on. Bottling him up, that's the biggest thing. When you play a running quarterback, you want to bottle him up. You want to set those edges really, really firm and make him turn back inside where all the big boys are coming, and you don't let that speed get to the outside.
They make the stop, but not before they do their work up top and pick up a first down.
Big play in the passing game there, and I like the receiver gearing down in the zone. Did a nice job finding the soft spot on defense between the defenders, giving the quarterback an easy target to throw to complete that throw.
And he goes out of bounds after coming up with positive yardage there.
That man coverage, when they get up in your face and they make things hard, you want to be able to attack the whole field and get them leaning one direction and then break outside like you did there. Nice out route connection, nice chemistry between quarterback and wide receiver.
Trying to cap this drive with the pass. Throws to the back. Grab near the sticks. It's Lewis. And the catch and run into the end zone. Touchdown ball! They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. They put together a 74-yard touchdown drive, and the capper a 19-yard toss for the touchdown. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. And here comes the Michigan offense back on the field. Now they need to put something together to answer that last score.
There's a lot of pressure, too, on this offense to have to execute at a high level. They've got to score points, David, but they can't go too fast because their defense right now is tied.
And I think that's the difficulty being a play call. Like, I have to balance all of those things. My defense is a little bit tired. I can't put it on the field, but I got to be aggressive because this is a back-and-forth type game, so a lot to process and think about.
He's going for it all. Fires a bullet. Now it's picked off. Made the play on the pick, was hoping to make one on the return. He'll have to settle for letting the offense pay it off from the 26.
And that's why as quarterbacks, you cannot telegraph the pass. You cannot stare down your receivers because these defenders, they're watching it. And that defender knew exactly where the QB was going with that football, and that's why he picked it off.
And a pickup of 8 opens a world of opportunities on 2nd and 2. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. A little pre-snap eye candy for the defense. Touch pass on the run. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage before he was stopped, but using the running back in the short passing game gives him a first down. He's looking to throw it. That's reeled in. It's Lewis. The offense uses a timeout to stop the clock, and they'll get a quick breather. They were able to make the completion, but he had to pick his way for just a little bit. Needed a little more help to spring him for some yardage.
Yeah, if you're going to have success when you throw it outside like that, you're going to need some more blocking and better blocking downfield. Give the defense credit, though. They were able to rally and made a tackle.
He'll take it himself. Got the first down and more. And they get him out of bounds, but not before a sizable pickup on that.
You know, you talk so much about QBs, right, and having to make really good decisions. There's a great example. He didn't see anybody open downfield. He didn't hesitate for 1 second. He put his head down, and he took off and went running and generated an explosive play for the offense.
Here they come, 1st and 10 from the 48. They'll go to the ground. Really nice pickup on that one as they get it to the 36. It'll be first down. Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. And he has a solid gain before the defense bottles him up. They'll use a timeout right before halftime. Maybe time for 1 or 2 more plays. And here on 2nd down, they'll send out the field goal unit to try to get 3 before the break. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. They'll try to put 3 on the board as the field goal unit comes on. It's a fake, and the kicker's going to throw it. It's ugly, but it worked. The fake field goal catches the defense with its pants down, and it's going to be a touchdown. Oh, the fake caught the defense by surprise, opened up a little passing lane for the score.
And I tell you what, on a field goal block, what are we doing? We're sending everybody. You might want to keep a guy or 2 back deep just in case they do run the field goal. And when you bring the field goal block, and you bring everybody, and you're sending all your resources to get them, and you're not covering, this can happen. I'll tell you what, guts to call the play. It actually worked.
We played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update. Not going to risk a return here. He'll make the fair catch. Michigan ready to get that offense rolling again. A big reason they find themselves trailing to start the second half, those 2 turnovers in the first.
Yeah, and I think coaches will tell you the number one thing that you got to make sure you do is take care of the football. You want to create explosives, you want to put up a bunch of yards, but step 1, Jess, is taking care of the football.
And it just goes to show you how critical those mistakes are. Only 2 plays. That's really what separates this team from potentially having to lead. If they clean up the errors, they've got a chance to win this game.
First down, 10 yards to go. Davis will throw. Looking to the big tight end. Makes the grab. And he'll run out of bounds, but a much-needed productive play in the passing game.
Well, that's a really nice job surveying the field and delivering an accurate throw. You know, when I think back to Michigan quarterbacks, I think of guys like Elvis Gerbach or Tom Brady, Jim Harbaugh. Brian Griese, guys that could hurt you throwing the ball from the pocket, surveying the field, reading defenses, and making quick decisions. This guy has the ability to do all of those things.
Wants to throw on first down. And the defense will corral the quarterback, and down he goes at midfield.
And listen, the quarterback drops back, and he's going through his progressions. We see zone, but just couldn't do anything about it. This defensive line, this pressure, getting to the quarterback, getting him on the ground.
Big first down sack for the defense. Brings up second down. Spits it out to the back. Got his man on the right. Offense on the move. A big play there. Gets it to the 30. And the Wolverines headed quickly to the line. Defense showing plenty of pre-snap movement of their own. Quarterback quick pass to the receiver. And he is swarmed under a host of defenders there to make the stop.
He's marked down at the 28. Second down coming up.
Let's see what they've got on second down. Quarterback making adjustments with his receivers. Moving the running back, trying to get the D to tip its hand. Moving, keeping the eyes downfield. And he was winding his way all over the backfield, staying alive, and finally he goes down.
You got to give the defense tons of credit because we know how much speed this quarterback has. That time you saw the pursuit. They were able to bring him down for a big loss on the sack.
On third and long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. Quarterback extends the play. He's going to sling it into the heart of the field. And it's hauled in at the 10. They get him down, but this offense is set up first and goal from the 9.
How great is it to have a running back who can basically run your entire route tree? You don't see a lot of guys line up and then run vertically down the field, get open, and make a big play. This dude is special.
And that big gainer on the last one has them threatening from inside the 10. Quick touch pass to the receiver. Touchdown Wolverines! And they made it to the house when they found that 6 points waiting on them. Got to start cutting into this lead somewhere. Now the question, will they have enough time?
But that's step one. You got to get that first score. You got to get back in the ball game and get some of that momentum back on your side. You still got more work to do, but step one accomplished.
Fair catch, called for and made. Tennessee ready to go to work the Big Orange offense on the field. And David, how they would love to stick it in the end zone one more time after that last drive.
And once you get the defense on their heels and you back them off a little bit, you get in a little bit of rhythm, it's really hard to stop, Jesse, and they're going to try to do it again right here.
And if you're this play caller, you're loving what's happening right now because everything you dialed up on that last drive ended up working out. You're just looking at your play sheet. Everything you're picking is working. Let's see if they can pull it off again here.
Here's the handoff. He maybe gets a yard. They'll mark him at the 29.
And sticking to the run. I'll tell you what, a lot of teams that are really good are really stubborn, and they continue to run the football even with little success. So this offense is going to continue to focus on running the football, you can tell.
On third down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. Good timing on the quick out. He steps out of bounds, but he's got enough for a first down.
Defenses throughout the week study every third down situation. You got to be ready for what they do, how they do it, and then be able to adjust. Great job by the offense so far having success.
The Vols will have it first and 10. Touch pass on the jet sweep. It's a fumble on the play. And the defense jumps on it, and they get that turnover.
Man, and it was just the impact of the hit that dislodged the football from the ball carrier. There was a heat-seeking missile coming in there, and he knocked that thing loose.
Guys, here come those maize and blue winged helmets on offense. That last touchdown drive was surgical through the air, Jesse.
It sure was, and that's why this offense is so dangerous, David, because they can score in a hurry because of how efficient they are throwing the football.
And welcome to modern college football. That's what it is. Spread you out, find my playmakers, make quick decisions, and really put defenses in a difficult situation.
On second down, will they go back to the ground game? Davis looking to pass. Fires to the big fella. Tackled after picking up the first down.
They say tight ends are a quarterback's best friend in the pass game because think about it. The tight end's the guy lined up closest to the quarterback, which means generally those are the easiest throws a quarterback has. You saw it on that play.
Offense picking up steam. 1st and 10 from the 31. Wide receiver now comes in motion. Quarterback touch pass on the jet sweep. And a decent gain there before the defense makes the stop.
And these little touch passes, man, they're just the easiest completions ever for quarterbacks. Palmer, I bet you would have loved being able to just flip it forward. That counts as to your completion percentage, which is good. And then it's all right after the catch. So pretty easy for a QB.
You wouldn't have been the only All-American in this booth, David, if I were allowed to have push passes when I was playing quarterback. I'll tell you that. It is so hard to defend. It's so hard to seal that edge, especially when this guy's full speed ahead coming around the outside.
And with the pressure on him, the quarterback goes down, and we've played 3 quarters here.
Third quarter. Tennessee 21, Michigan 14.
They've changed ends of the field, now facing 3rd down as they go back to work. From the gun, wants to pass. Getting some heat. He's going to take off. And he tried to make something happen with his feet, but they stopped him short, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
This is why 3rd down is so difficult for quarterbacks because the defense substitutes. They put faster guys on the field, and they've got all of their different exotic looks they've been game planning all week for, some things you haven't seen on film yet, and it confuses your offensive line. It confuses you, and you're out here just trying to make plays, trying to do...
Deep shot for the end zone. Got it. They will score. Touchdown, Michigan.
How do you not love the guts of this offense? 4th down, it's just another down, and what do? Stay aggressive, throw the football down the field, make the big play, get the big touchdown.
Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
All right, guys, a little update on what else is happening in college football this weekend. Arkansas State is in front. They've responded well to all the off-the-field chatter this week, but they still have to finish the job, and that is no sure thing right now. They're up by 11 over Eastern Michigan. We'll circle back. If anything big happens, you should know about it.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. The Volunteer offense is back, and they hope it's touchdown time in Tennessee. As it turns out, the fumble on that last drive set up the touchdown, David.
And there's no bigger stat in football than turnovers. You turn the football over, they turn it into points. Jesse, that is not a recipe for success.
Good news, though, they get another chance, right? They can make amends with this drive right here. That's all that's important. You've got to execute, and you've got to lock in.
6-yard pickup on 1st down leaves them with 2nd and 4. Quarterback flips it ahead quickly to the receiver. Pushes ahead for a couple. They'll mark it at the 33. Big 3rd down as the crowd gets behind this defense. Off the bootleg, looking to fire. Got out of trouble, got rid of it. And a missed opportunity on 3rd down as the defense knocks it free, and 4th down is coming up.
Defense did a great job. 3rd and short on the opponent's side of the field. They're expecting quick throw. Everybody, they dug their heel on the ground. They're able to break on the ball, force the incompletion.
going for it on 4th down late in a tie game. This is a huge play. Finally pulled down, but not before moving the chains for a 1st down.
Well, I don't think the defense was expecting running that last 4th and 2 play. Good job by the offense keeping them off balance with that play call.
And the Vols have it with a 1st and 10. He wants to throw. Feeling some heat. He gets rid of it, but I don't think they're going to let him get away with that. Nope, here comes the flag. This offense has a 2nd down play. Pulls it and fires to the left. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a 1st down.
And I think this receiver's forte is his route running. He's a guy that can line up all over the field, but it's not just catching post routes and goes. This guy can run shallows, he can run slants, he can run the option.
They get enough rush, and it pays off. The sack at the 20.
You know, when you go down personnel package, you've got extra DBs in the game, so it's harder to throw if you're the quarterback. There's just not as many windows. They've got more guys in coverage. You're expecting to at least have a little bit more time, but your offensive line, man, they just couldn't hold up.
He's brought down, but a really solid effort to pick up every bit of yardage he could on the punt return. And here comes the Michigan offense back on the field. How big is this drive? Scored a touchdown the last time they had it. Defense gets a stop, and now it's up to them in a tie game.
All right, so if you're the offensive coordinator here, let's dial it in.
Oh, look out! Attack! Touchdown, Wolverines! They've got the lead here in the 4th. This dude is just slicing and dicing this defense into little tiny pieces.
Carving him up, completely comfortable, knows exactly what he's getting, had so much success today. You got to find a way to make these quarterbacks feel more uncomfortable.
About to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. He thought about bringing that out for a half second, but he'll take a knee and they'll bring it to the 25. Tennessee ready to go to work the Big Orange offense on the field. They hope to be able to cash in on this drive, David, after having to punt it last time.
Yeah, and I think this offense needs to start it with the first play. You need to be successful and productive on that first play, and it gets you in less predictable situations.
No doubt, too. Don't you just feel like there's a little bit more sense of urgency on this drive? It just feels like they've got to be able to put some points up on the board here.
On the run, still looking. Trying to escape and get it himself. And that defense doesn't allow a cutback, and they get him out of bounds after a short gain.
Well, great job there by the defense because they weren't able to get him sacked right away, but you saw the coverage in the back end. Nowhere for the quarterback to throw the football. Didn't get the sack, obviously. You don't get the negative play, but you also don't give up a big one. You're feeling pretty good about where you are right now in this drive.
These fans stepping up to help this defense on 3rd down. And it's picked off. That kind of play can really get you going, not only on defense, but the great field position for the O at the 37.
Zone equals eyes. When I say that, DBs, linebackers, all covering the middle of the field. So many guys over the middle of the field trying to take away the easy stuff, but reading the quarterback's eyes the whole time. Whenever he breaks to throw that football and that hand separates from the ball, I'm breaking on it. You could tell. They had a beat on it. Nice cut, nice instincts. Give me that INT.
He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. We have arrived at the 2-minute warning, a one-possession game as this offense tries to hold on. Might as well keep pounding that rock at this point in the game, even though it's 2nd and 12. Receiver on the move gets the touch pass. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. This 3rd down play might be the last chance for this defense to stay in the game. Quarterback will audible. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to turn one loose downfield. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down.
I tell you what, I don't know if the offense was expecting man coverage that time. 3rd and long in field goal range, you're expecting it to be zone. Instead, they lock them up man-to-man, everybody on an island, everybody won. They get the incompletion, now setting up 4th.
That's a great job downing the football, setting your defense up with great field position. A lot of times you let that thing bounce one too many times and it climbs in the end zone, but that was a good job of making sure you downed it and set your D up.
Trying to find his man on 1st down. Quarterback now breaking the field. And he can't get it off. Taken down. What a huge play this late in the game. On 2nd down, wants to throw it. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
Well, this offense is up against it here. Trailing late in the game, the defense knows they're going to throw the football. 1st down, they get sacked. 2nd down, incompletion. There's no mystery what's happening here. Quarterback's just going to have to make a play on 3rd down.
Listen to this crowd just shaking the girders of this place, trying to help their defense. Got enough for the 1st. And excellent vision to find running room there and make a really good pickup before the defense put a stop to it. Maybe this will breathe a little life into this offense, which has been flatlined in the 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Here he goes breaking the pocket. Snatches it on the right. That defense got gashed, but they finally get him to the turf at the 47. Clock is still running, and they have to get everybody lined up. Timeout called by the defense. It's their 1st of the half as they'll make some adjustments. Big drive for this offense late, trying to tie the game. They pieced together a couple of 1st downs, and here they come again. The RPO, fire complete to the left. And he goes out of bounds after a nice pickup on that one.
I love offenses and quarterbacks that are willing to take the easy stuff. Take those easy throws that are guaranteed to get positive yards. Yeah, I'm going to take big shots down the field too. But don't forget, it's easier to pick up 2nd and 5, 3rd and 5 than it is when you start getting those long yardage situations.
Now on 2nd and short. He's looking to throw. Gets it out fast. And he gets out of bounds to stop the clock. They've got a 1st down. They're in plus territory, and they've got a chance to win the game. And the Volunteers come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Finds his tight end. And he laid the lumber to stop him from getting the 1st down.
Well, this certainly hasn't been a career day for the quarterback, right? He's thrown a couple of picks, hasn't thrown for a ton of yards, but his team is in position to win this game, and they need him to make plays now, a 2-minute situation, to pull this one out. He's got the talent to do it. Let's find out what he does.
I want to get my running backs the ball in space as much as possible, and sometimes it doesn't work in the running game. But I can throw it to him. I can try to create some space out wide, dump him the football, let him make some catches, and see if I can't get some big plays out of it.
He showed off the stiff arm, but apparently he needed a couple more. A lot of defenders around to stop him. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play, trying to preserve every minute possible. Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down. He's looking to throw. Wiggles free. And that defense pushing him out of bounds after a short gain.
And I think this is important for this defense. This will be a big key in the football game. Like, I got to limit the damage from that guy. Because that's a QB that's dynamic, and he can make so many big plays. I got to string him out. I got to make him get to this.
Touchdown, Tennessee! And they add add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house.
Massive score, now massive decision-making. Obviously, extra point ties the football game. Easy peasy, nice job. A 2-point conversion, you win this thing. So I would kick it, but you know what? If you want to go for it, it's your decision.
And they'll try to win it right here with the 2-point conversion, and this crowd is electric trying to stop them. It's incomplete, and the try for 2 and the attempt to take the lead does not work in the final seconds. They're sending out the regular kickoff unit. I know they have 1 timeout left, but you got to go onside kick here. From inside the 15, chance for a good return. Michigan ready to get that offense rolling again. 1 possession game, getting late, first order of business, just take care of the football.
So they call this situation 4-minute offense, where you're trying to run the football and throw high percentage passes to maintain possession and bleed the clock. This is a very difficult point of the game to execute at a high level.
Yeah, and listen, what you understand as an offense is if I get 1 or 2 first downs, this ball game's over. And that's your sole objective. Not scoring, take care of the football, get a few first downs, walk out with the W.
The defense wouldn't let him loose there, and it was a completion, but they lost yardage. Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. Snap it to the back. A strong tackle and wrap-up from the junior. They won the game today. That's 2 in a row. If they win the next one, it's called a winning streak. It's been done before.
And we're seeing the identity of this team come into fruition. Just get the sense they're finding out who they are, what they're about, what they're going to do schematically, and who their big playmakers are.
Which is tough to do, right? It's tough to grow throughout a season and understand who you are. But when you stack wins week after week on top of each other and start to have success, you start to grow as an identity and you start to understand who you are.
So that's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis saying so long. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.